The other day, I was going grocery shopping with my wife and my daughter, and we'd finished getting ready and putting our coats on and everything. And then we went to the car, and we put my daughter into her like special like baby seat, and everything was we were all ready to go. And then I tried to start my car, and it would not start. Now it's not the case that it was like trying to start. I don't know if you've had an experience where you sort of like you've got the key in the like ignition position, and the car's sort of like going like like trying to turn the engine over, and it won't start. It wasn't that. So it wasn't like something simple like the battery wasn't very good, or I don't know, spark plugs weren't sparking well enough, or the timing was out or something. It was, I couldn't even get to that position. I couldn't get to the ignition position, so I could not even try to start the car. It's like the key. The ignition switch, it's like it's stuck, and I couldn't work out why. And my car is a basic cheap car. It's one of those small Japanese cars, and I didn't buy it for very much money, and it's a bit on the old side. It's a bit old. I can't remember how old it is. The other day I was thinking like, is it 16 years old? But then I thought 16 sounds an awfully long time. Very old. Is it? I don't think it is 16. I think I might have mentioned that in a previous podcast. I think maybe it's 8 years old or something, or 10 years old. I can't even remember. But anyway, it's old. And even though it's old, and even though it's cheap, and it's like a little lightweight cheap car over here, it's got this like fancy. Well, I think it's fancy. It's got this like fancy wireless start thing. So you don't have to put your, like old-fashioned cars, you just put your key into the door and open the door. So this has like a remote control to unlock your car. That's fine. All of my cars usually have got like remote controls to open doors. But this has like a button as well. So you can actually like be near the car and like press a button on the driver's door, and that will unlock the car too. So that's a bit different because if you've got like the wireless remote control, you're pressing a button, and it sends a signal to the car, and then the car unlocks, and the car's always listening for a signal. This is like the reverse. This is you're pressing a button on the car, and then the car sends a signal to like the remote control, to it's a little like key fob thing, and then that says, okay, yeah, you can unlock. So it's like the reverse of, it's the reverse remote control. And that's, I don't really care about that, to be honest. I think it's, just being able, I wouldn't even mind the key. Unlocking with the key is fine by me, but, remote control, nice. But then it's like reverse remote control where it's like reading how close it is. Like is the remote close enough to the car so that I will unlock myself when someone presses the button. I don't need any of that. And it even happens when you try to start the car. So normally in the cars I've owned before, you just put the key into the ignition and you turn the key to start the car. And I know you get all fancy cars with like buttons, that you just press one button and the car starts itself and all that rubbish. But I don't really like stuff like that because I just think, well, I know how computers work, right? And I know the more complicated you make things, the more chance there is of something going wrong. And then when it's something digital, when it's something electronic and you've shoved computers in there, it means you cannot fix it yourself. You're going to have to take it to a garage, maybe a specialist garage, pay a lot of money to get something fixed because someone's put something complicated in there when something simple would have worked just as well. So my ignition, it's a keyless ignition. I don't have like a fancy button that I just press and the car starts itself magically. I've got like an ignition switch, but I don't have to put my key in it. Like the car just reads, the key fob thing is near. That remote control thing, it's near. So yes, you can start your car. And I don't think it was reading it very well. That's why I couldn't even try to turn it at all. It was just locked there. Which was really annoying because it's like, I want to start my car. I know how to start my car. You're not letting me start my car because there's some silly problem with all of your fancy technology that I don't need and I didn't want in the first place. I didn't have a choice, if I have this technology or not. So it's a frustrating scenario. My daughter's crying. She usually cries, not always, but can quite often cry when she gets into the car. And then when we start moving, she settles down. She's like, ooh, actually being in the car is quite nice, isn't it? It's moving around and it's rocking me to sleep. So she's once we're moving, she's fine. She just loves the car. But when we just put her in the car for the first time, I suppose it's like a different environment, and it's a bit cold at this time of year. So probably not very pleasant. So I'm there and I'm trying to start the car, and I'm like, please just start, just go. And my daughter's screaming as loud as possible. And my wife's saying like, what's wrong? Why aren't we going? And I'm trying to explain, it's not my fault. I can't start the car. And she's like, well, are you doing this? Are you doing this properly? Have you done this? Have you tried this? And I'm just like, well, yes, of course I have, of course. So in the end, I say like, look, you try. And then you try to start the car and you can understand what's going on. So we swap seats, and then she tries to start it, and she's like, oh, I can't start it. It's like, yes, that's what I've been telling you. It just won't start. So I'm just trying everything. I'm not forcing it. Like some people, it's like, oh, I can't turn it. And then they're just like, ugh, and try and, really force it to turn. That's just going to make things worse, definitely. So I'm trying very gently to turn it normally and maybe like wiggle it about a bit. But really, I'm thinking like, well, this isn't a mechanical issue. This is a software issue. For some reason, it's not being able to read this key. And I'm moving this key like really close to the car. It's like, please read it. I don't even know where the sensor is. I don't even know where it reads it from. Like, where should I put it close to? Should I put the key close to the steering wheel? Or is there a sensor in the roof? It's just, it doesn't need to be so complicated. So for someone like me who's trying to think like, how can I solve this problem? It's like, well, it's just so hard now. I mean, even if I look in the car's manual, it might not tell me where's the best place for it to read the key. So I'm wondering, like, is the battery, low in this key fob device? Does it work like that? I don't know. I'm thinking about the technology. Is it like NFC technology where you can just have it close to something and it charges from power, the power from the other device? But no, it can't work like that because the range is too far. It's too far away. So I'm trying to work trying to think like, how does this technology work? How does this annoying technology work? And what can I do to try and fix things? And this is going on for a while. I'm trying everything. I'm trying I don't know, just guessing at this point in time. I'm trying to turn the wheel and start it. I'm trying to I've got my foot on the brake and trying to start it. I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I left it in the wrong gear, and maybe the car won't start up when it's in the wrong gear, or I don't know. I'm trying everything, it's I would say about 15 minutes had passed. Just sitting in the car for 15 minutes, nothing's going on, and I'm just saying, look, we've just got to go back upstairs. It's not going to start. We're just going to have to cancel our trip. We can't go shopping. Can't go grocery shopping. It's just not working. And I had the door open. My wife was out of the car at this point. My daughter was crying so much that she decided to take her out of the car and just start walking around. And then my daughter was fine. She likes the movement of being carried somewhere. So she was fine. And I had the door open talking to my wife. And the car, when I had the door open, it was just going beep, 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 beep all the time, which it normally does if you have left it in like one of the ignition positions and then you open the door, and it complains and says, it's sort of like a warning, like, don't forget to turn the car fully off before you leave your car. But of course, the switch was fully off anyway, so there's nothing I could do about that. So I thought that's what was making me think like, yeah, okay, something's gone wrong with the software here. It's not reading things. It can't understand that it's not in ignition position or whatever. I don't know, some nonsense like that. And then as I was talking to her, this beeping had been going on for about a minute, 2 minutes, and then it just stopped. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Maybe it just times out. Maybe my car does that. Maybe if you leave your door open for like 5 minutes or whatever, that annoying beeping sound stops. Or maybe it's realized, hang on a minute, it's It's not in a like a semi-starting position. So I thought I'll try it again, and I tried it, and it started. And I thought, what on earth was that all about? And then I thought, like, okay, well, we started the car, and my wife's like, great, let's go now. And then I'm thinking, no, not great, because what happens if we drive it all the way to the supermarket, and then we have the same problem when we're trying to get away from the car park, because that's worse, isn't it? If you can't start your car, it's best that it happens when you're at home, because you just go, oh, can't start the car, that's annoying, go back home, But if it happens when you're out somewhere, it's like, can't start the car, how do we get home? That's a lot worse. That's a much worse problem to have. So I was thinking, I don't know if I really want to drive somewhere. But we thought we'll take a chance. The supermarket was about, by car, it's about 5 minutes away. If you're going on a bike, about 10 minutes away. I suppose if you walk, it's probably, I don't know, between 15 and 20 minutes. It wouldn't have been the worst thing. And maybe there was a bus nearby, I'm not sure. But we thought, it's a short distance, so we'll take a chance. We'll see what happens. Thankfully, it was fine. And it started fine, and we were able to do shopping and come back, and no problem. And since then, it has been fine. It hasn't happened again. But it's always, it's always this worry, isn't it now? It's always like, ooh, there was that time when the technology completely failed me, And was it a one-off? Is it like a bug that managed to fix itself? Or is it something that's a sign that things are breaking somewhere? So it's like you just sort of lose confidence in your car, It doesn't seem like a mechanical fault at all. It seems to be like a software fault, and you just sort of completely lose confidence. So yeah, what was the main point of this episode? I suppose just telling you, that this annoying thing had happened in the first place, and then just telling you that really, I just wish they'd make things as simple as possible, because sometimes the simple things work better. The less complicated they are, the less things there are to go wrong, and the more reliable they can be. That's the way I come to view things over my short life on this earth. I think there would have been a time when I was much younger, early 20s or something, and I would have thought like, oh, this is an amazing technology, wireless starting, wireless keys, or whatever you call it, keyless start. I think that's it. I would have thought, oh, isn't this clever? Isn't this good technology? But I don't know. I suppose I'm a bit older, a bit wiser, and I sort of think, to be honest, I don't really need it. I just want it to work, And mechanical faults happen, and they're fine. I don't, you can't avoid having it having some parts be mechanical, so that's fine. But you can avoid having them be like software and computer controlled and things that they don't really need to be. So yeah, simple is good in my book. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed listening to that episode, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until next time, bye-bye.